Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about why mortgage lenders and real estate agents need to talk to each other. And this is about when it comes to you, the buyer. So I'm going to walk you through what I do and some of the really shocking things that will surprise you, because you guys are going to be like, wait, what? Yeah. So if you're new to the channel, I'm licensed in 48 states. I actually do mortgages. I am a real mortgage lender. I'm not cosplaying. Okay. So if someone fills out an application with us, we do a fully underwritten pre-approval. I then go through everything like what to expect with closing costs, what to expect with payments, see where the buyer's comfortable. We discuss everything. And at that point, I'm usually saying, hey, what's your real estate agent's name and number? I want to talk to them. Now, the reason I want to talk to them is that in order for the client to have the most successful transaction, the real estate agent needs to know what they can and can't do. And I need to make sure the real estate agent is actually going to work on the client's behalf. And I need to know what they're looking at. Okay. So what we do is we have Alexis on my team reach out to the real estate agents and get them on my calendar. And you probably go, oh, okay, cool. So they all get on your calendar, right? No, guys, it's crazy. So literally Alexis will reach out and she'll be like, hey, it's Alexis from Jen Beeston's team at Guaranteed Rate. We just got James fully underwritten. Jen wants to get on the calendar so that you guys can talk about, the pre-approval and information that you may need to know to write the best offer. Okay. You would call that person to find out that information if you're working for that James, right? Right? No, not always. So here's what's really interesting. This is like almost a test too. The really good agents, they call back so fast and they want the details as quickly as possible. And like we look up their numbers too. So we can tell, we're like, yeah, of course, like they sold 40 houses this year. They're no dummy. They want to talk to the lender. The reason they want to talk to the lender is they want to make sure that the lender's legit. Right? They don't want to go waste their time showing houses and then not have the lender be good. But then they also want to make sure they understand what the buyer can and can't do, if they need seller concessions, closing timeframes, all of that. So what I'll see is really good agents usually will hop on that calendar as quickly as possible. The other ones, though, not so much. So then if they don't respond, Alexis sends an email and says, hey, I reached out to you. I have not heard back. Once again, this is what we want to do. And she CCs the buyer at this point. That part's new. We didn't used to CC the buyer, but now we do, because you guys need to know if your real estate agent is ghosting your lender. Like, it doesn't benefit you if they're not getting back to your lender, especially since so many people need seller concessions because closing costs can be expensive. Also, no one can save anything right now because like the cost of four chicken breasts, and it was $21. They weren't cooked. That wasn't at a restaurant. That was at Safeway, right? It's crazy. So look, with seller incentives and everything else that may be needed, they need to know. Otherwise, they're going to write an offer. The lender's going to get the offer. We're going to be like, this is great, but we can't do this because we don't have any closing cost money. So it's not going to work, right? So then we send the email. Sometimes still nothing, no response, nada. So then Alexis calls again. Hey, like we really need to do this. Now, at that point, I get to the point where I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I call and I'm like, hey, like we need to get on the phone. Like they're fully underwritten. We need to know what's going on. Now, usually there's a couple things that could be happening. And this has been awkward because sometimes I've been like, oh yeah, I'm calling about XYZ. They're like, who? I'm like, you talk to them? And they're like, oh yeah. I was going to show them some houses. And you're like, wow, you're really vested here. The other thing is sometimes they won't talk to me because they're like, well, I want him to use my local lender. Well, wait a second. You haven't asked him why he's using me. You haven't asked me what we've done with the full pre-approval. You want him to use some other lender, but you're just deciding who he should use as a lender. That's not the way this works, okay? And look, it's consistent, guys. What I have found, a good real estate agent wants to get on the phone with the lender fast. A bad real estate agent or an agent that's not going to be looking out for your behalf, they will dodge that lender as much as they can. And I'll even hear crazy stuff like, I've been in business for 30 years. I don't need to talk to the lender. Guys, anyone who's been in business for a long time and does a lot of business knows you need to talk to the lender. Because if you write an offer and we're not talking to each other and you don't include stuff that I might need, or you think it takes me longer to close than it does, and that's one that kills me because we can close really fast. And there's certain loan products like a conventional loan, 10-day close, no problem. Most lenders around the country aren't doing that. But if the real estate agent won't even take 10 minutes to talk to us, they don't know about that. That's a benefit to the client. Why wouldn't we have that in our offer if it's going to help them win the offer? So look, whether you guys are working with me or another lender, your real estate agent and your lender should talk. Now, if your real estate agent says, well, I only will talk to my preferred lender, guys, just run away. Like, it's not right. Like, if you guys took time to look for a lender, interview a lender, you went through the pre-approval process, you provided all the docs, you've been educated on the process, but they want you to use someone and they won't talk to anyone else, they're trash. They don't have your best interest at heart, you know? And if a lender says to you, I won't talk to your real estate agent, well, they're trash. Because the bottom line is, for you guys to write the best offer to give you the chance of success, these two people need to be talking. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood that. It's something that's been really interesting for me to watch over the last few years because, you know, we used to just call once or twice. Now we have a whole process because what we're really finding is that, once again, top real estate agents get back. They're also the ones more likely to get the buyer in contract. The ones that are ditching me and ghosting me, yeah, they're also unlikely to get the buyer in contract. So as always, questions, comments, feel free to reach out. If you're a real estate agent and you hate talking to lenders, even when they have your clients, please justify it. But I bet you anyone who's watching this video probably doesn't feel that way.